Okay, so I think we are live now. So, very, very good evening here from the UK, and welcome back to our pages. And for those who do not know who I am and who are new to my page, or people following other pages, I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Susie Jacob. I'm a general practitioner by background and training, but here we are talking about the online business. So, in the online space, I am a digital entrepreneur, but most importantly, I'm also an online business coach. So today I have my lovely, lovely business partners with me today. And today our discussion is going to be in English. And we are just going to talk about few things related to the business, a few myths and a few facts related to the business. So let's first go over to Veda and Money. Hello.
Hi, Susie.
Hi,
Thank you.
Veda. Hi, Wendy. How are you both? You okay?
All
Hi,
good,
Susie.
all good.
Yes,
Hi,
good, good.
Regina.
Yes, Regina silently waving in the background. Hi, hi. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today tonight. Yeah, so lovely to have you both. Right. So, Money, you can't imagine the number of people. Of course, you do introduce yourself before you answer the question, but a lot of people actually last week. I have lots of men coming in and asking, well, we can only see women doing this business. Only women seem to be, what's the guarantee that we are going to be successful as a man in this business? Okay.
Mhm.
So what do you have to say about that? So obviously introduce both of yourselves before you go on to the
Yes.
question. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Susie. First of all, it's a pleasure and honor to be on part of on this business discussion. And myself, for Money, I'm working as a senior project manager in a telecom company in the UK. And Veda, she's a cover teacher working in a primary school. And we are basically from India, but we settled in the UK for the last couple of years now. We're blessed with two beautiful daughters, and we are a proud digital entrepreneurs. We are doing this business for the last
15 months.
15
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, most of them seen us on our page, and if yeah, some of them may be new. So just a short introduction about it, yes. So to answer your question, why we are not seeing men? So actually, they're actually behind the screen. To be honest with you, um, so for me personally, men, anyone can do this business. Doesn't matter men or women or working professionals, moms, dad. Doesn't matter. As far as they have the willingness to learn about the new social media platform, and if they are committed, if they are passionate, and they need a really, if they desperately need a change, yes, it's a beautiful business to start with. And the founder of the platform is actually men, like and there are so many business entrepreneurs men, but yeah, but they put themselves up front to start up the business. And yeah, so I don't know specifically, but as far as this is like a playground. So you need to come out on the from the edge, and come out on the field and learn the skills, and yeah, just deliver it. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might be seeing women, you might be seeing, even on these interviews or the ads that you're seeing, you might be seeing women, but actually, they are part of a couple. There's always going to be another spouse there. And in business terminology, they're like silent partners.
Yeah.
They're there supporting them from the background. You might not necessarily see them, but they are still part of the business. They might be doing other aspects of the business, the technical side. Maybe they have the technical skills, and women, we're a little bit more creative, so we're and
Yeah.
some of us are coming out and not being as shy as maybe men can be. Obviously, Money has overcome this.
Yeah, I'm really shy person, Susie. I mean, if you see our business page, I never come like go live and things like that. I mean, yes, I'm comfortable, but it took me almost a year to come out of the comfort zone. But that was my barrier. I put a barrier myself. My face doesn't look good. My English doesn't look good. I'm not talkative, like those kind of things. But from the technical side of thing, I'm very good. I can do anything in the background to make our business, active, up and running. But in front of the camera, I'm not that person. In terms of the creativity, no. Those are the skills I'm learning, and I'm trying to improvise myself. And how can I be a better version of myself? So maybe, yeah. So they just need to come out of the comfort zone. And yes, of course, anyone can start this business. Hope that answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. And obviously we can't stereotype people. Like I've before this business, I never considered myself as a very creative person. I'm like men actually. I'm a very numbers person. I always like, what's the number? What's the return? I'm the one who, even in the home, my home, even now, I'm the one who, balancing the checkbooks and things like that. And Lewis loves to buy things. so he funny enough, my husband's very creative. So a lot of people do ask, like, oh, Susie, your reels are really good. Actually, my husband takes most, about 90%. I probably just take about 10%. So we can't actually generalize. So we're not here to generalize men and
Yes.
women, because men and women can be completely different. But for me, when I joined the business, I'm basically a very, very introverted person. I can be several days without talking to anyone, and I love it. I love probably watching a movie or reading a book, and spending time with myself, because talking to people sometimes it releases energy from me. And people who are extroverts, like my husband and my daughter, they are extroverted, so they gain energy by those social interactions, while I got fizzle out basically with a lot of interactions. So anyone can actually do this business, whether you're introverted, we are extroverted. The only difference is, even for me, is I came to a point in my life where I felt enough is enough. I need that change. And I think that's the most important thing. Whether you are a man or a woman, once you reach the point that you are fed up, you are stuck in that rut. And for me, I was looking at myself and saying, working 50 hours a week and telling myself, God, I can't do this till I'm 68. No way am I going to do that. I am getting like completely burnt out. But I needed to maintain those hours to actually sustain my lifestyle. But physically, I was just, in shatters, really. I was a horrible person. I used to come home, and my husband and my daughter used to run away as soon as I entered, because they didn't know what version of Susie they were going to see. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair on our family members. Just because we can't show our frustration on other people, we usually come and tend to show that on the people we love the most. I don't think that's good. And what this
Yeah.
business has helped me is, like what you said, Mani, like it's helped me to become a better version of myself. I'm no longer that irritable, angry Susie that walks into the door because I worked 12 hours and I'm really knackered, and no one loves me, no one cares for me. It's all those sort of things you're telling yourself. No one loves me, no one cares me, what am I am here? All those nonsense you start, and you talk those nonsense in your brain because you're tired. It's as simple
Yes.
as that. Once you have a good night's sleep and then you're not going to the weekend, you're happy because you've rested. And then you think and you talk to yourself, am I really a horrible person? Does no one love me in this world? All these nonsense come out because you're just tired. You just need some rest and sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. And I think women, you probably are seeing a lot of women, because women in general balance a lot of things. Nowadays women also work, so women go out and work along with men, but then their jobs don't end after that.
Yeah.
And usually come home, they might watch football.
I used to do that. Yes,
Yeah,
I used to watch
so,
Netflix, or watch BBC, or watch
yeah.
some kind of
So
sports event. Yes.
yeah, so but women come home and they need to look after things. Like, yes, my husband used to cook, but he doesn't use, when he was working, he was not cooking every day. He cooks once in 3-4 days, and that's it, and things like that. But still, when I come back, it'll be that bill, that shopping, this thing, that, everything was around about my head. Or I used to have a cleaner, and organizing all those kind of things, like kind of things, it's still around the back of your head, isn't it? So I think women because there's a lot of the household burden, and they are likely to get a lot more burned out because they have no way to actually have any kind of cushion, really, because it's one after the other. And I guess that's the reason why you see more women, because women are fed up of coming back home and doing work, going out of the house and doing work, while probably men come back and have some rest, and then they think, oh, why do we need to do the online business? We just need to do our jobs.
Yeah.
And that's probably where friction happens between a husband and wife. And because of this business, me and Lewis hardly fight now because we are all happy, because we have time for each other, we have money for each other. And my daughter is a lot more happier because she sees more of dad and mom at home, unlike her coming. The poor thing used to, because working parents used to come home and after school open the door to an empty house, those sort of things. So your children are not happy.
Yeah.
And things like that. And I guess that's one of the reasons, that's my opinion, obviously, and I think there is some value to that also, why women say enough is enough and then just take that step of faith, really.
The thing is, at the end of the day, women they really have that pain. They know about the family pain, what they need to go through. I mean, as you said, right, we have a bit of relaxed time, but not women. So they always think very smart. Okay, what's the better way to lead their life, to have an extra source of income. And genuinely, they are very, once they know, yes, this is a real one, and the community is really good, and they just chip in. And they usually like to connect, and they are emotionally very good, and they like to connect with people upfront.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's like we've always thought of like doing something together, but of course we're both from different professions, so that professionally we could never work together. But this business has actually allowed us to work together,
Yeah.
So I think that's been a bit of a game changer. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
I learned so much from Veda on the creativity side. She's very good. So I learned so much from her. And,
Yeah.
and it's vice versa. She learned from me on the technical side of it. So as a couple, yes.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. Like, because, before starting this business, what I used to do is, whenever there's an extra shift or something like that, weekends or something, if there's something extra to pick up, I used to pick it up. And my husband used to actually ask, okay, can we go for that movie? Can we go out or something? And I'll say, no, I've picked up that extra shift. No, I don't have time for that. Even when I started the business, he was not aware, and I started the business, and later he came to be aware about. He was very upset with me initially. But what I did was, because we do social media marketing, and I needed to go places, and he knows a lot of places like that. What I did was, I was asking him, yeah, I need to take some photographs, and he loves taking photos. My husband's an amateur photographer, so he loves taking photos. And I said, can you take me there and take some photos of me? I've never actually asked him to take photos of me because I don't like it. You have to see my wedding album. I'm not even smiling. It's a sad state of affair. I'm not, because I don't like the camera on my face. So if you see those photographs and the Susie now, you'd be shocked completely. Now I smile all the time. My husband now tells me, I don't even need to tell you how to pose. You're just posing there. I said, yes, I've been doing it for nearly 3 years now. So I know how to pose now. So thank you very much. So what happened is, that was something he wanted. He wanted to take his wife out, take some photographs, have a meal, go for that movie. And because of this business, as part of, even though I didn't start thinking about it from that point of view, what now I reflect and think about is, he didn't, after a few months, he didn't really care whether this was working or not, because he loved the person I became because of it.
Yeah. And the bonding became more stronger.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even now, today, after work, I was like, oh, I want to take an ad. Can you take me here? In the car, we're off. And I said, so he said, where do you want to go? That's not my headache. That's your headache to find the place where you need to photograph, where you need to. That's not my headache. So that's how you probably hardly see my husband. He doesn't talk or anything on my page. Obviously, he's on the page because sometimes we take the the films together and videos together. But he's not talking. But and so he's like the silent partner in our kind of thing. Like even today I said, I'm just want an ad, you just take me to a beautiful place. And okay, okay, then he just took me somewhere. So I didn't even make that decision of where I need to go, because that is not my, I said my brain thinks of other things, your brain needs to think about that. It's like that, and that's how we work in partnership really. So he's my silent partner, and men have their role to play in this business really. So
Yeah.
I think that was a great discussion. So thank you very much, Mani and Veda. So
Thank you.
next, we are going a bit of a tangent, completely different topic from what we've said. Now, we've learned about how a couple can work together, how men can work together, how an introverted person can change because of this business, how this business can, improve your family life, really. So coming to that, like with any business, people sometimes, when we tell them that there is an investment to a business, they're kind of shocked to that. So Regina, so I will pass on to you. So if you can introduce yourself and talk a bit about that. Why is it important to invest?
Thank you, Dr. Susie. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whoever you're watching and who is going to watch us later. I'm Regina. I'm a nurse assistant manager from UK. I'm originally from Kerala, India. I've been settled here for more than 23 years. And I'm running this business, going to be an year soon. I'm so proud. I'm so glad I have made this decision to change my life. Of course, Dr. Susie, there's nothing free in this world. Only I can say our parents' love is free. Even our partner, sometimes you have to, sometimes it's not 100% and we feel like, so it's the parents is ultimate, something is really free, free thing we can get it from the free parents, and they look after us for free and everything, so I would say my dad used to say when I was little, he used to, you have to throw money to get the money out. So that's the thing is working in everywhere. Every business everywhere. Even you go to this uni, you have to pay. There's nothing free. So for us, I would say in this business, initially we last to pay 149. That's the one thing, that is a refundable money which you want you to know about the systems, how it work, and the our platform and the business, what are the investment in future and what plans we can choose, and it's things, everything which explains to us very clearly. So once you pay, you can get a detailed plan about the business, what we are doing, which company, and the product and product details. So once you know, you can choose whether you want to go ahead or not. It depends on every individual. It's an open market. We are showing everything. We are not hiding from you anything. So it's every company got its policies, and even you go to work somewhere, there's a policy and procedure we have to follow. So we are bonded with the company, we are following company's rules and regulations. So it's same thing with where you work also. So that's the reason we are not asking you to, we are not saying in the beginning, initially we are not giving the full information. Because we are bonded with the company, and we are keeping company's rules and regulations. So once you pay the 149, we will give all the information. So once you see in the store what is there, you can look into that. It's 1 month. You can look through it. Once you learn, and if you don't know, if you don't want to continue, so it's okay. You will refund out. We are not going to ask you why you want the refund, why you are not interested. It's everything is like open for you. So one, if you don't want to continue, we'll refund straight away. It can be within 48 hours or soon after you will get the refund. Once you plan to go ahead, and the investment is just like, for a holiday, you spend the money. That's much I would say. So some people will say like Porsche cars and everything. That is why maybe last for 10, 15 years. But this is going to change your lifetime. So you have to think out that 15 years, or this is your lifetime investment, which one you want. But once you planted this seed, you can have a Porsche 100 or 10, because you are getting income from this one. So to think about that, which one is more important for you. you want the seed to plant today and get the fruits out for your future and your generation. So I would say, which one is the best for you to choose from today? So it's a blessing. I would say, thank God for finding me this opportunity. I'm so glad. And I think that's all I can say for you, news, Dr. Susie. I think for the viewers, you have to think what you want, which one you want to choose it. The choice is yours, and we can only give advice, and it's in an open plate. You choose which dish you want. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Regina. So you're absolutely right. There's nothing free. But if you just think about it, like I'm going to talk from a doctor's point of view. In the UK, you have to study for 5.5 years for your basic medical degree. The average person, when they come out, just just your university fees and stay your books and exams and everything like that will cost you about £80,000 just to finish studying. That does not include your accommodation, food, and other stuff. Imagine. And that 5.5 years, you are not earning a thing. 80,000, and that is just 80,000. Now, on an average, a doctor to earn that much can take anything between, after training, after qualifying, can take anything between, I would say, 5 and 10 years to earn that sort of money back, like yearly. And that too if you work full time. So most doctors don't work full time, especially if they're women, they don't work full time. So they don't even see that sort of money on a yearly basis. So when you pass out and when you start working as a doctor the first year, with the what we call London wage and the extra working nights and all, you might earn about 30,000, 32,000 pounds a year. That again doesn't even cover your cost of what you've spent in uni. And people usually ask, first thing is, when do you get the money back? And I was like, guys, you just need to think about how much you spend in university and how long did you take to earn that back, depending on your course, of course. This business doesn't even require a tenth of that, the amount I've actually said. But you can earn more than a neurosurgeon's wages if you work hard. And that's the testimony of that. People earn 5 figures, anything between 5 and 10 months with some of the strategies in our business. Yeah. So tell me which course. I'm telling you, as a doctor, you cannot earn that much. You're spending a lot more. For you to get your return of investment will take years, 15 years and stuff like that, what you spend in uni. Yeah. Maybe for some other courses, you might get it before that. But so just be a bit realistic when you say, oh, but like there's no investment. No, you've invested in your education. Or, of course, if you've got scholarship also, just think about it. You might have not spent the money, but someone is spending the money for you. Okay, so that is also not free. And at the end of the day, even, okay, your tuition fee might be paid, but you still have to go and stay there. And that's not paid off even if you study a 3-year degree. So just have those things in perspective before you say, oh, why should we pay for a business? Well, this is a business where you can kind of, if you work with us, within 4 to 6 weeks, you can probably learn ins and outs of the business. And you can probably, if you're really good and really active, can start earning within 3 weeks. Now, you tell me, where can you earn with a job, like studying and then going for a job like that? You cannot earn within 3 weeks of you entering into a course. That's not possible. You entering 3 weeks into uni, earning what you're studying is not possible. Yeah. But in this business, what we are saying is, yes, you're investing, but you're earning, you're investing, earning, learning, and earning. And that all can happen within the first year. I personally started earning within 3 months into the business. And that varies depending on how much time and effort that you put into the business. So we can't give you a box standard response about this is when you start earning, because this is not a job. This is a business. And again, as I've mentioned, it depends on what strategy you start with, how much time and effort that you put into the business. So I hope that this has given a bit about perspective about a job, a business, and why it is important to actually. But our business model is more than earning money. You've just heard from all of us. This has changed our life. This has changed who we are. This has made us a better version of ourselves. This has improved our relationship with our children and our spouses and our parents. My parents are so happy now. You know, like my parents are the first to actually, my mom especially, all my reels, she'll be clicking like. I said, Mom, yes, please do click, because the more you click, the more I can come to India several times a year. So clicking all my this thing. So your parents are happy because at the end of the any parent, when they see that their children are thriving, their children are happy, their grandchildren are thriving and are happy, they are happy. And at the end of the world, like we all heard about the plane crash in Ahmedabad. I'm still in shock. Like yesterday and today, I'm just thinking, and it went and landed in a doctor's hostel. Like a lot of medical students and doctors got injured. There was a doctor in the flight who was bringing his family to the UK. I just can't imagine. Yesterday I was in too much shock just thinking about, my fellow doctors are hurting, because a lot of doctors are injured because of where the flight fell and things like that. And you think yesterday night, I went and I just hugged my daughter. And these are the times when you think, you really don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. You really don't have that crystal ball. All you have is today. And how are you living your life today? Fighting with your spouse, fighting with your children, angry and upset that you can't get a holiday to go visit your parents because everyone wants holiday during school holidays. Is that the sort of life you want to live for the next 20 years? If that's not the sort of life you want to live for the next 20 years, get in touch with us. Wherever you're watching or any of our pages, get in touch with us. Find out the information. Find out whether this is something that you'd like to do, whether it is something that's suitable for you, in tune with your values and ethics and morals. I can tell you one thing: if it was not in tune with my values, morals, and ethics, I wouldn't be doing this. Yeah, I would definitely not. But obviously, that's up for you to decide. Why not check it out? The information's free. Initial information is free. And then there is obviously this refundable thing where you have a 30-day period to check it out and then decide for yourself whether it's for you or not. But don't let this opportunity pass you by. Don't let yourself live that angry, life where you feel, dejected, despondent, and worthless. You don't have to live. 10 years ago, I didn't know this information, and I lived a lot of my life feeling angry and despondent and unhappy. And now I'm the happiest in my life at the moment. And you can be also too. And we'd like to share this opportunity. We'd like to share this joy with you. Be part of our team. We are a lovely bunch. We are a lovely, jolly, good, jolly bunch. Just join and see how we are. And your life, I will promise you, your life will change if you do the work. Obviously, not if you don't do the work. That's a disclaimer there, a bit of a disclaimer there. But if you are willing to do the work and put the effort and invest in yourself and your future, you will see the difference. So thanks once again, guys, to join us today evening. And thank you once again. Put a smile on my face and a friend on our pages. So God bless and have a lovely weekend and enjoy the weather. Bye.
You too. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.